Hey guys, it's Destiny, and in today's video, I'm going to be talking about whether or not you should go for Seele or Jing Yuan when the game does come out, since they will be our first two banners of patch 1.0. Additionally, if I do sound nasally throughout the video, it is because I'm a little sick right now, but hopefully I'll be better by the time this video comes out. And without further ado, let's get straight into it. So let's begin with Seele. Seele is going to be a character of the hunt, and she is also going to be the quantum element. This is really good because we don't really have many quantum element characters. We do have another girl who will be quantum. I'm not too sure how to say her name, but it is the gambler character girl. However, she does not really operate similarly to Seele, so I'm not really sure if you can really compare the two when it comes to quantum. But when it does come to a team comp and being able to basically create a team with elements that can defeat an enemy, that is a thing to keep in mind with both of these characters I'm going to be talking about. So Seele's main purpose is to be a huge single target damage dealer. She's able to get OHKOs, she's able to just do a lot of damage to enemies, especially when it comes to how her skill kit works. Seele has a thing that's pretty unique to her, which is called Resurgence. What happens with Resurgence is that Seele enters a buffed state upon defeating an enemy and receives an extra action. What this means is that Seele defeats an enemy. Whenever she does do that, she is able to immediately act again. And while in this buff state, Seele increases her damage by 40% for one turn. So she's even able to increase her damage just by defeating an enemy, and during that turn she acts again, she increases her damage. Additionally, if you are enjoying this video so far, make sure to hit the subscribe button and let's carry on. The reason why I think Resurgence is really good is because Seele is able to act again, and then when she does act again, once again, she's able to do more damage. A thing to keep in mind though is that Seele is not able to do Resurgence more than once in a turn. However, I think there is a way to get around this. If you're able to basically get Seele's ultimate ready, what you can do is attack with Seele, Resurgence procs, use Resurgence, like that extra turn from Resurgence, use her ultimate, because what I believe is that when you use an ultimate, it considers it a new turn for that character. Not too sure 100% how that works, but I have seen people do the ultimate and then they're able to get a KO and they're able to get Resurgence again, and then they're able to act again as a result. So you're able to act even more than just these two times during a turn with Seele if you are able to make use of her ultimate. And overall, just she's a really strong character. If you have a character like Bronya on your team as well, Bronya allows Seele to move even more times. Bronya is able to further the action of an ally by 100%. So when she does this, then your ally will be able to act again immediately as well. So Seele and Bronya is going to be a very strong pair. Now you may wonder, if Seele is so great, what about Jing Yuan? Why would you want Jing Yuan over Seele? Now I do have just one reason that may be good alone. Depending on how they do the banners, assuming that they do the banners like the CBT3, which is the closed beta 3, the banner I would say on Jing Yuan's banner had better 4 stars. Not too sure how many of you do care about that, but I will say the 4 stars definitely do matter in this game, and you'll definitely want to make use of whatever 4 stars you do get that can be good for a team comp. As we know, we will not be getting like every single 5-star, so it's really good to keep in mind what 4 stars are on these banners. And on Jing Yuan's banners, there was Ting Yun, Su Shang, and March 7th, which I think those 4 stars are some of the best 4 stars in the game, while Seele's banner had Pela, Natasha, and Hook. I had to think about that for a second because I was like, what? Who was the last one? It was Hook, which I personally don't think like Hook really matches the Seele banner, because I feel like with Jing Yuan's banner, that banner that they give you with those characters kind of just gives you a team, honestly, like a starter team for Jing Yuan. Ting Yun and Jing Yuan are incredible together, and Ting Yun is that Fox Lightning girl who's able to buff your attack, she's able to buff just a lot of things, and she's also able to buff your lightning damage. So her and Jing Yuan is basically a perfect pair, and I'd probably recommend Ting Yun over Bronya in the case of Jing Yuan. Now let's look at Jing Yuan though. Jing Yuan is really interesting as a character as he is part of the Erudition, which is the same class as a character like Himiko. Jing Yuan is able to attack multiple enemies at once, and the cool thing about him is that he's able to do a lot of damage to all enemies. I know a lot of Erudition class characters, when they do damage that hits everyone, the main target receives majority of the damage, while the adjacent target basically receive a percentage of that damage, but a lot of Jing Yuan's attacks do the same percentage to every enemy. And it doesn't count as, oh, you can only hit adjacent, like Serval, for example. She can only hit, I believe, the metal and then the adjacent when it comes to her skill, if I am not mistaken. I could be wrong on that, but if I'm remembering correctly, that is how Serval works. But Jing Yuan, he's able to attack everybody for the same percentage, which I think is really, really strong. And he is just an incredible character. He's also able technically to attack multiple times in a turn, but by multiple, I'm mainly talking about him himself and then the Lightning Lord. The Lightning Lord is kind of like a persona of his. You could think of it as kind of like an additional character in a sense, because the Lightning Lord gets its own turn within the turn. It gets its own action. The only thing is though with the Lightning Lord, it just attacks the enemies and it's considered a follow-up attack, which I think is really good. And the only way to really stop that follow-up attack from happening is if the Lightning Lord is gone, which I can explain how to get it back when it does disappear. And then if the Lightning Lord, or rather Jing Yuan, is affected by the crowd control debuff. If he is affected by that debuff, his Lightning Lord will not be able to attack, but assuming that he is not affected by this, the Lightning Lord will always be able to attack, assuming that Jing Yuan is alive on your team. Now, the way to have the Lightning Lord up is with stacks. The way to get these stacks is by using Jing Yuan's skill and Jing Yuan's ultimate. And when you use his skill, you get 2 stacks, which basically makes the attack count 2, which means the Lightning Lord has 2 more turns. And if you use the ultimate, you get 3. So the Lightning Lord now has 3 more turns. And you can get up to, I believe, 10 stacks. Yep, you can get 10 stacks, which basically means the Lightning Lord can stay for 10 turns maximum. Of course, though, as these turns go away, then you'll be able to do more skills, more ultimate, and keep the Lightning Lord up. The cool thing about this is that the more stacks you get, the more Lightning Lord will be able to be buffed, which I think is really, really good as well. When the Lightning Lord has more stacks, you get more speed with the Lightning Lord. What I think is good about this is that since the Lightning Lord only has 60 base speed, which I think is kind of slow, it's kind of slow in comparison to characters like Seele in a turn. So the Lightning Lord might actually attack last in comparison to everything else on the field. But assuming that you have a lot of these stacks, the Lightning Lord can actually get pretty fast, honestly. Like if you get all 10 stacks, 60 plus 100 would be 160. And then the Lightning Lord is probably going first in comparison to everything else on the field, which I think is really good. Once again though, Jing Yuan is able to, just as a whole, he's able to attack multiple enemies. His Lightning Lord does a good amount of damage as well. Jing Yuan is just able to do very consistent damage, in my opinion, to all enemies. So he's just a powerhouse of a character. So personally, which character would I recommend? That's actually going to be a debate for when the game does come out, because I do plan to make another video like this, going way more in depth, and giving you guys team comps, possibly the relics you may want to use, and so on. Just which one seems better, especially for you guys who are free to play, who are, you know, grinding out the resources or grinding out the currency. Which one seems better? And I will be doing that near release. I just wanted to tell you guys in this video how both of them operate and what both of them do. Personally though, I do like both of these characters. I think it's really dependent on which characters you have in the game. Like if you have a character like Bronya, I feel like Seele and Bronya is just incredible, and it's really worthwhile to get Seele with Bronya if possible. As for Jing Yuan, if you can just save for him, like hypothetically, if you don't really want Seele but you want Jing Yuan and Ting Yun will be an incredible combo. There you go, that's your buffer for the team. Ting Yun will be able to buff Jing Yuan by a really good amount, a very considerable amount, to the point where it's like these two are a really good pair, and I would highly recommend those two together. And for both of these team comps, I feel like it just depends on which characters you have once again. Now, if you do not have Bronya and you also don't have Ting Yun, I feel like it's just more so up to you on which character you want more. And I guess which playstyle you prefer. Do you prefer a character like Jing Yuan who's able to hit everybody for practically the same percentage, or would you prefer a very high damage dealing single target like Seele? So it just depends on what you want and which playstyle you prefer, and just how you like to go about it. I will say though, on the free-to-play aspect, I feel like March 7th would be really good on either of these teams, which we do get her for free incredibly early on in the game. So I feel like that's really good, and I feel like either way, whichever one you go for, whichever one you like more, you will be making a good decision in the end because I think both of these characters are honestly phenomenal. So whichever one you prefer, I would say to go for that one, but I thought in this video I'd let you guys know what each of these characters do so that can maybe help your decision more when the game does come out. And of course, if you guys did enjoy this video, make sure to hit the subscribe button, leave a like, leave a comment. Let me know in the comments down below which one you actually want more. Do you want Jing Yuan more or do you want Seele more? And that'll be all for today. I hope all of you have a nice one. Peace.